Hello and welcome back, Realty Pros. Thank you for joining us this afternoon for another Realty Talk. We are happy and excited about today's Realty Talk. This is a joint effort on behalf of the leadership team. And so we're going to go ahead, we're going to get started. Our topic for the training today is meeting people where they are. And so we're going to go ahead, we're going to share the screen so that we can begin our training. The great part about this is, as I said, this is a joint effort for the leadership team. And I love this all the time when we're able to do this. Okay. So our first presenter, as I said, our training is meeting people where they are. And so our first trainer is going to be Mr. Curtis Price. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just turn it over to him. Thank you so much, Curtis.
Absolutely, my pleasure, Anita. Thanks for everybody jumping in and joining us for another wonderful day here at the Porterhouse family. So meeting people where they are. So I kind of wanted to kick off the meeting or the presentation in a way, because I know that there's going to be a lot of amazing information that the other realtors are going to present. And I'm saying that because of a few things that I wanted to just put out there and to really bring to everyone's attention, especially any newer agents. One, we are almost at the halfway mark of 2024. It's even crazy for me to even say that the year's coming up to being halfway done, but it is. So, time is definitely moving right along. And so with that, as you can see, my slide is a lot of stuff going on there. But in the middle, there's a big shiny object, right? A shiny ball. And I know for me in my journey as a realtor and just kind of growing for 2024, I really had to start to dim the light on shiny object syndrome. There's so many avenues that we can explore as realtors, right? That's one of the things that I love about being an agent. But at the same time, that can also be a very big detractor or somewhat of a saboteur in, your real estate career. So I wanted to kind of just put that out there in regards to the shiny object. We have Facebook. Are you going to do Facebook ads? Are you going to do Instagram ads? Are you going to cold call? Are you going to text message clients? Are you going to door knock? Are you going to do a YouTube channel? Then there's TikTok. There's so many things that we can kind of start to get lost in. And I'm saying all that, and I have the book, The One Thing, because in the beginning of the year, Shay actually presented and really talked about this book, The One Thing. And it is a phenomenal book. I don't know if everybody actually took the action and read it. I didn't necessarily read the book, even though I do have a copy, but I listen. So I use my car really as my YouTube university. And I really took away from The One Thing and kind of looking at 2024 for one thing to really try and get as focused in on with my real estate business. There's so many things, again, that we can go down and explore. But I challenge all of you to really look at the next 6 to 7 months of 24 and really dial in on one thing. For me, it's been a kind of somewhat of a journey that I've arrived to at a place of cold calling, and door knocking. So it's kind of it's not necessarily one thing, but it fits together. And I've been making this one thing a pivotal part of my day, Monday through Friday. There's no questions. I have to do certain tasks that I'm holding myself accountable for. So another quick segment with that, as we hear other presenters, things are going to resonate with you. You know, some folks might want to really go into door knocking. Some people might want to really look at Facebook and posting on Facebook. So I kind of challenge you to figure it out. Pick that one thing that speaks to you and attack it for the remaining portion of the year. With that being said, because I know I'm somewhat, limited on time because of the other presenters and everything, there is going to come a point of uncomfortableness, right? Anytime we try something new, it may not feel good because we don't know it. We were all, I'm sure, uncomfortable when we were trying to become realtors, when we were trying to get our real estate license. That was uncomfortable. We had to take the classes, we had to study, we had to pass the test, we had to pass the test maybe again. But we had to get uncomfortable. There's nothing wrong with being uncomfortable, right? Writing your first offer. For me, just opening up the program, at the time it was .loop, to just figure out how it worked, I was uncomfortable. But the more I did it, the better I got. And I say that with whatever one thing you really decide to go with, don't just try it for a week. Don't just try it for even a month. Really commit, and hold yourself accountable that, what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to really attack and make this a part of my real estate business and go after it for the entire remaining 6-7 months that we have of 2024. And it's going to be pretty interesting to see what that work is going to actually bring into your real estate business. But again, going back to the shiny object, a lot of times we might try something for a month and it doesn't really hold the fruit that we want. And then we're off to the next shiny thing. And we're going to try this. There are clearly going to be certain things that are going to be foundational for all of our real estate business, right? But I challenge you guys to figure out this one thing that you can really hone in on, that you can make yours, So again, that's pretty much what I have, is really challenging you guys to, as we look through the other presenters, and if there's something that really speaks to you, challenge yourself, try to, make it happen. Take that nugget of information. We have an amazing brokerage that has tons of training. All of the agents, we're all very accessible. So, if you wanted to learn more about it, reach out to that agent. I always say YouTube is such a phenomenal tool for anything you want to learn, from clearing a clog in your sink to writing a winning offer. Building a spaceship is going to be on YouTube. Somebody made a video, and utilize these resources and really kind of take action to close out, to make some real change for your real estate business, closing out and looking at the end of 2024. So I hope that was some beneficial information, and just to kind of get you guys to look at things a little differently as the other presenters present, and just moving forward in each of your real estate businesses.
Thank you, Curtis. So I got two things from that. Thank you so much for the reminder that, we want to focus on the one thing. That was what we were tasked to do for this year. And so thank you for bringing us back to that idea of focusing on the one thing. And then also, not getting distracted by, being persistent. So, you know, whatever we identify as that one thing, we hone in on that, we commit our time, our energy to that, and that we don't allow ourselves to be pulled off track by the next shiny object. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Sure. You're welcome.
So our next, what we wanted to share with you is, because we're talking about meeting people where they are, right? And so this was an event that we partnered with, it was just in my mind, and I should have written it down. I don't know why. Right. It no, hold on. I'm going to tell you guys what it is. Darlene and Angela trying to tell me what the name of the project was, but this was during Thanksgiving, and we partnered with I'll tell you later. I'm not sure. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot what that was. But I met this young lady at that event. So obviously we were there with the purpose in mind of, you know, helping out with these Thanksgiving baskets. And that was such a great opportunity to be able to give back. But you don't know, you know, who you'll meet and where you will meet them, you know. Project Give Back, that was the name of it. Oh, thank you, Angela. Yes. So as we were giving back, you're still there and you're meeting people. And so you're able to make connections there because it's about, you know, being something else Curtis said that I thought was really great. Be courageous, you know, it does not feel comfortable because it's maybe not the space that you are used to, but the more that you do it, the more comfortable you will feel doing it. Okay. So just want to encourage you so we can meet people, even when we're in a charitable situation, we can still have opportunity to meet people and connect with people. Our next presenter is Miss Darlene Bridges. And so we're going to go ahead and we are going to turn it over to you, Darlene.
Thank you, Anita. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everybody. So me meeting people where they are. In the slides that we have here on the upper left, I don't know if you can see the guy with the braids in his hair, all the way to the top, him. And then it's the young man behind him, right? So one of the things that I like to do are the sip and sees. And so in doing these sip and sees, you get an opportunity to meet a lot of different people, buyers, sellers, and things like that. So that sip and see that you're looking at, I did last year, March. And then on the lower right is Miguel and Ibrahima. Miguel was at that sip and see. And we did their sip and see this past May. But Miguel and Ibrahima, same last year, so March I met Miguel, and they closed on their house, a new build, in October. So that was, that was a lead that I got from that sip and see. And then at the sip and see from the one we just recently did a couple weeks ago, I have 2 leads that I've since sent over to the lender. So for me, one of the things that has been building my pipeline and me getting buyer leads has definitely been from these sip and sees. And then sometimes, like when Curtis put up that silver ball about getting distracted, I get distracted and I forget that I had buyers that have closed transactions that I haven't followed up with. Like, hey, you want to do your sip and see? And and then when you do them, hence I got these 2 leads from those sip and see. So this is one of the things that I like to do. It's a good way to give back, and it's also a good way to get leads. And that's just some, example of some of the things, the charcuterie board that we do when we do the sip and sees. Um, I'm trying to think of something else, but that is really the main thing. The who? Oh, yeah. Thank you, Anita. So another, so I do in doing my cakes, I definitely have started to in you know, intertwine my real estate business as well. Um, I've just sent a buyer over, or a buyer just had already been working with Mr. Cooper, and her mom is someone that I did cake business with, and she's also participated in our expo. So I use my cake baking business to, reach out and, get clients. And then I also, from past clients, I reach out to them, about their sippancy or housewarming or whatever they want to call it. So that's my meet you where you are.
Okay, thank you, Darlene. We appreciate you sharing sharing that with us as well. And so I'm trying to so you guys can see a face. I had the first of all, that is such a great opportunity to be able to, when you have closed with one buyer, to be able to, get yourself some, at least one more buyer in your pipeline, if not more than that, depending upon, how big the attendance is for that event. So and they're really so people may think, oh, well, that may be a little bit expensive, but really when you think about it, I mean, you can make it whatever you want it to be. And when you think about it, it's, as big or as small as you want it to be. And it's just a small investment in your business. So you will reap from that seed that you sow much more than what you obviously right, pay it forward. Darlene said yes, for sure. So thank you again, Darlene. And the sip and seeds are great. And don't think that you can't do a sip and see. If that's something that maybe you're interested in, Darlene is our event coordinator, and Darlene she can walk you through. The first one that I did, the first sip and see I did, Darlene was out of town. And so I was like, oh my goodness, now how am I going to do this? But she just gave me all the information that I needed. She sent me pictures, so I'll know how I kind of maybe want to have it set up or whatever. And right. So she gave me all of the tools that I need. I've since then went out and bought my own tools, but she gave me everything that I needed, and she just walked me through it, and it was such a success. And so consider that too. Again, you want to hone in on your one thing, but this may be something, right? And I met Winifred. Yes, I went well, I didn't meet her. I knew already, but I went to go get her. That was my intentions. And so that was a success. Okay. Yes. So then I wanted to share this slide with you all because this was an effort that we did leading to our home buyer expo. And I'm telling you, somebody who is serious when she get a flyer in her hand is Aurelia. Aurelia, I mean, she intends to pass out as many flyers as she prints out. That's how many flyers that's how many people that she's going to go and she's going to connect with. So it's also very good to be able to, and it helps you to be able to engage with people. These people, you obviously don't know, but they may have a need and you may have the solution to that need. And so it gives you an opportunity to have a brief conversation with someone. So say, for instance, you're not necessarily, comfortable with just, sitting down and just speaking to someone. We have our next expo will be at the end of June 29th. And so we are going to get the flyers to you all as soon as we possibly can. And so you want to consider printing out flyers. We're going to have opportunities where we go out, obviously, as a brokerage to pass out flyers. You want to make sure that you take advantage of that opportunity. We had a lot of people for our last expo that came based on us going out and just handing out flyers. We had probably everyone had at least those people who went out and actually, circulated flyers. We had probably each of us at least one individual that came. So, and that's just from, actually going out in your community, meeting those people that are there and, inviting them. And another thing that you always want to do is you always want to, if you can, when you're in that situation and when a person seems familiar and they're like, oh, well, okay, I'm going to come. Make sure, ask them, for their information. Just pull your phone out and ask them, to give you their contact information. Make sure you get their email address, because if by some chance they're unable to make it, you still have a contact number for them. You have a way to be able to continue to communicate with them. So you want to take advantage of those opportunities as well. This is just with a stranger, okay? Our next presenter is, well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to skip Miss Pat because she has not yet joined us. Right. However, okay, so this is another event. This was an open house, and Angela must have been the one who put the arrows on here. Okay, Realty Pros. So it's great when you can get together as a group as well, right? We have open houses all the time. We have a house that needs an open house, needs to be open this weekend. And so you have opportunities to be able to go out and to prospect, right? Because you have the house open. People are always on Redfin or on Zillow or Trulia looking at open houses. A lot of people come in unrepresented because they saw this house on one of those sites. That's the perfect opportunity to be able to get prospects, to make connections, to gather information so that you, if they're looking, why not be the agent that represent them? Okay, so, and they may not be looking to purchase in that moment. That's something that they desire. The great part about, but they may feel they're not able at this point for whatever reason. Maybe they have credit issues, maybe their income isn't. But the great part about it is you are able to invite them to our expo, and we're able to help them, to get started on their path to home ownership. Okay. So I think Miss Pat just joined us. So think about all of those things. There's so many places and so many opportunities that we have to be able to meet people where they are. I'm going to go ahead, Miss Pat, if you are, is she fully logged in, Angela?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to turn it over to Miss Pat, and I'm going to allow Miss Pat to go ahead and share where she meets people. You got to unmute yourself, Miss Pat.
All right, all right. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
You're unmuted.
Oh, good, good, good. Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to thank you all for coming out and for your diligence in coming out to learn more about realty and how to be more effective as you go and do what the Lord has placed on your hands. I thank you for this privilege and for this opportunity. And I apologize for being a little late. I'm just getting back in, but I was trying to get here to share. I'm so excited to share what the Lord has shown me and what's going on and how we meet folks where we are. I think some of you know that one thing I'm doing is to work with Uber drivers. Many of these are small business owners, and some of them are looking to purchase. So I've been giving them the calendars with my business cards on the back and sharing with them. What's been happening lately, especially among men, is that they're just opening up to me and just sharing what's going on with their lives. And I'm telling them about Christ, but also sharing with them about realty. So I'm prayerful that that will continue working. So that's been good. Another thing, the building where I go and minister on Fridays is at Corporate Drive, and I have the privilege of going there. And so after I finish, I go to the various floors. There are 6 floors there, and so I'm claiming that in the name of Porterhouse that that it'll be lush and full for us. So each Friday, I go to a different floor level, and there I share flyers for open houses or coming soon, share business cards. I just stop and talk with folks, try to see where they are and what is on their hearts. And I'm getting some business from that, getting some from folks who are interested. A couple folks from there did in fact come to the March 30 expo, and Mike is working with them to see what he can do to help them. There's a tax office on that first floor, and I met a young man maybe about 2 weeks ago. He was really out of it as he came out, and he saw me and just began smiling. I said, "What is it?" He says, "You look like my mother." So I said, "Oh, I'm so glad." So I shared with him about realty. I got to know him a little better, and he shared with me that his mom is looking to purchase. So she's working now with Mike and getting that thing resolved. So the Lord is blessing. That's what's happening at 8401. And then I want to thank Angela and Darlene and Anitha. They came out this past Monday to a house that I'm working with that's currently being updated, if you will, by Curbio. And Angela gave me a tip that I'm still using. I like paper. I like to take notes. I like to keep that kind of record of my conversations with people that I meet, with people that I speak with. And so she showed me how to do these things via my telephone. There is it's not even an app, but it just shows up as you send out messages. And there's one symbol that allows you to record what someone is saying. So I've been doing that, recording conversations so I don't miss a word, but also I'm able to maintain eye contact with the person who's speaking. So they know that I'm listening, know that I'm caring. And then when I talk back with them, I can remind them of some things they'd share with me. One lady, Angela in particular, she lives around the corner from the property that we're listing, but she's also next door. She's right beside their off-street driveway. And her name is Suzette, and she has a dog named Waffles. And I was able to record that information so I could remember that. And so that as we speak again this Friday, I'll be able to say hello to her, but also be able to speak to Waffles as well. What this uh, the symbol does as well. And you can both record the conversation, but you could also click another button. And y'all, this is an Android phone. You can click another button, and this allows, I guess it's called video talking. Yeah, yeah. And the clients give consent to the recording, because you don't want to record someone without their consent. It's illegal to do that. They need to know that that you are recording them for your memory, and that it'll only be used by you, so they can feel comfortable with that. So that's a blessing. Thank you, Anita. Yeah. So those are some things that I'm doing to stay in people's faces, to get the word out. Now, while we were at the house this past Monday. Neighbors came out. They're so friendly. So we're inviting them to a sneak peek. We're having to move the open house to another week. We're going to have it next week rather than this week, but we're hosting like a sneak peek before that. So I was calling it the nosy neighbor opportunity to come in and check out the house to see what they have to say. We're already getting some comments from the neighbors. One neighbor's asking about the roof, another's already asking about what work they would have done had they lived in. But after talking with Mrs. Porter and listening to how she shared with Angela, I was able to give a comment that really caused them to think twice about what they were seeing. And so that was a blessing as well. The neighbor made a comment about what she would have done had she been the owner of the house. And I was able to thank her, but also to share with her that the sellers weren't trying to make a lot of money. They weren't trying to gouge, but they really wanted to sell the housing quickly. So they were selling it as is. That they did the major repairs, did other things that they thought would make the house more attractive. But for other ideas, they decided to leave those kinds of things available to the incoming buyer, so the buyer could see, the kinds of things they could do to make the house just their very own. So when I shared that with the neighbor shut up and she stopped complaining. I invited her to the sneak peek coming up next week and told her that I was so grateful to her for sharing. I also asked her if she had if she knew of any other neighbors, if she had friends or family that might be interested in the purchase. The next door neighbor on the left hand side has a daughter who is looking to purchase. I've been trying to reach her so I can put her in line with Mike Cooper so we can get her pre-qualified or perhaps even pre-approved before we even have the open house. So these are some things that I've been doing, and I'm just grateful to our leaders, grateful for the comments, thank you, grateful for their connections, grateful for their sharing. These are things that I've been able to put into place, and they've been really helpful to me. I hope that what I'm saying is helpful to you all as well, that you can gain something from some of this and be blessed as well. I love Porterhouse because of our relationships, because of our willingness and ability to share with one another, because we know that we're all working together for a common goal. And so we know that nothing's being stolen. Instead, we're sharing for the good of everybody. And it just excites me to be still here at Porterhouse. And because of our relationship with the Lord, that is so powerful. So I thank you for this time. Anita, I hope I've shared some information that will be a blessing. And does anyone have any questions that they might ask? Okay, okay.
Okay,
Well, okay, okay.
Miss Pat.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Well,
So
thank you
Miss Pat
too.
has been meeting people even before her house has come active on the market. She's been getting out and she's been engaging with the neighborhood, with the community right there. Don't miss out on the opportunity to be able to engage with those people who are right there in the community where you're doing business. Thank you so much,
One
Miss
more
Pat.
thing. Okay. One more thing I want to add. A postal worker came through. I forgot about her. Her name is Latravia. And while she's not looking to purchase right now, she is interested. So I invited her to our June 29th Buyers Expo. So she's excited about that. I told her to share the word. I'm back at the post office with anyone else that might be interested as well. So yeah, we've got so much good information to share. And sometimes we think that we don't have anything to share, or we might think that someone doesn't need to hear that or doesn't need to know that. But I just want to encourage you that people are out there, that they are still interested in buying and selling and investing and renting. But we've got to let them know that we're on the ball, that we can help them, and let them know the kinds of things that Porterhouse is doing. They'll be amazed every single time. So God bless. God bless.
Thank you again, Miss Pat. Um, we appreciate your sharing. This is great information that we are receiving. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna move to our next post I shared about the open house opportunities. Our next post is Miss Margaret Irvin. Oh, you know what? I spelled her name with a G. My apologies. Miss Pat, can you mute yourself, please?
Okay, I'm sorry.
and-
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Let's see.
And so my
Yes.
apologies, Maggie. Um, we want to go ahead and we want to introduce you and we want to give you your opportunity as well. Thank you so much, Maggie.
No worries, Miss Anita. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. I'm gonna jump right in here. So focus with our focus on meeting people where they are. I am usually always on social media. And so I brought in some information to um, kind of share with you guys. What's posted here are just some things and tips that you can do to meet people where they are. If you are a big social media user, you can use that platform as a means to find and interact with your target audience. Um, outside of social media, that could include being aware or learning of an event and attending that event for the purpose of networking and passing out your cards. You can also use social media to build the actual group that your target audience that you want to reach. And so the things that you see here are just some of the ways that you can do that, because it's increasingly crucial to harness the power of social media when you are generating leads or prospecting and things of that nature. And most people are also on social media, so you don't have to get out of your bed, you don't have to get out of your house. You just have to be creative with how you engage with those people. Instagram, so social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whichever platform it is you use, isn't necessarily just for sharing photos anymore, but it's a powerful tool for connecting with your potential clients and showcasing your expertise as a real estate agent. And it gives you an opportunity to connect them with information that they may not be aware of. Um, with social media and meeting those people where they are, con content is king. So to attract sellers, to attract buyers, you need to create content that's visually appealing and informative. That's from photos. If you take a really good photo or you're really good with the videos, you could post things that you've already have in your phone as opposed to acquiring new ones. If you go and assist someone else with an open house, you can also use that time to take pictures or get video as well. You could even record the property if you get there a little early or stay a little later. If you're assisting, you can use that to create virtual tours of the property. The goal here is to, when I have an open house, which I do have one this Sunday, I'll post a flyer later, but what I do is simply ask a question: how much house do you think you can afford? And then people say, usually you get the gripes first. Houses are too expensive, interest rates are too high, which is an opportunity for you to then engage with your prospects. You can also show renovations. If you're doing renovations at your home, show the room beforehand and then show it after you've completed it or you've decorated it or did something. I like to say, if you've added any kind of razzle dazzle to your home, you can always start with your home until you have an opportunity to feature a property that you are listing or showcasing. So another piece of that is being able to leverage the features necessary to engage your audience and capture the lead. So using stories, I believe all the platforms have an option where you can create a story, which is quick, it disappears. And if you want to leave them hungry for more, then it's definitely the place that you should be sharing and posting things. Hosting QA sessions, answering common questions, just getting online, going live. I see people all the time going live and they're just sitting there. Some of them may be knitting, some of them may be making dinner, doing makeup. You could simply be folding clothes, doing something house related around the home to kind of help you. And or you could say, clean my room with me. That, because they have, it's really popular to have people get ready with you, and so they'll show their outfit for the day and kind of talk about some form of their business. And so you could say, clean my house with me today, or fold clothes with me today, and you can talk about laundry, and then ways that you would recommend that somebody else who has a lot of laundry but not enough space, little things like that, to use that to incorporate in your post, in the things that you put on. Another piece that's listed here is collaborating with influencers and local businesses who already have a following. If you know that you're trying to reach an audience or a group of people who are 40 and up, then more than likely you're going to try to catch them at a coffee shop. Or if you're into the gym, go to the gym and have conversations with people who are already established influencers and businesses that will help you reach new leads or new clientele. Maybe they'll share something, or maybe that you have, or you could, in exchange for them sharing, you could go in and use your marketing dollars to support that business, as opposed to just going into Facebook or any other marketing avenue. You could use that to put your marketing dollars at work in real time and get your client right then and there, face to face. The most important thing I want to leave you guys with today is the importance of engagement. You can post these beautiful pictures, you can post these nice videos, and if people leave you a message or have an inquiry, negative or positive, engage with them, especially because I've learned that the harder the no, the easier the yes. So if they're just, no, I'm not doing it, and this is crazy, and you people are weird, and you just want my money and all of that, I would engage with them to see what the real problem is. And then you may have a new client. Social media offers a wealth of opportunities for us as agents to connect with potential clients and to showcase your expertise. And so prospecting using social media builds genuine connections with your audience, and then it helps you establish it establishes you as a trusted authority in real estate, in your market, in your particular area. And so doing all of these things allows you to meet people where they are, and allows you to be where you are and still make it an intricate part of your business. And that is all that I have. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Maggie.
You're welcome.
We appreciate that. Social media, everyone is on it, whether they are they're looking on it, even if they're not actively participating in it. So that is a really great space to maybe make the decision that that's going to be your one thing, is by way of social media. Thank you again, and thank you for breaking free so that you could share with us this afternoon. We appreciate that so much.
Yes,
Our
ma'am.
next, thank you. Our just another thing, when we do our outings, of course, that's an opportunity for us to get together as a team, as well as to meet people. We go to and do all types of things. So join us, because if you maybe are more apprehensive about going out on your own, when we go as a team, perhaps that's a little bit more encouraging to you to extend yourself, to be uncomfortable for a couple minutes and meeting people, okay? Our next presenter is Miss Angela Skipper. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it over to you, Angela. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey everyone. So I'm going to share a little bit of, I guess, things from my perspective on meeting people where they are. I may touch on a few things that we talked about. But in other trainings, I didn't want to necessarily do this just from, a listing agent standpoint. I wanted to make it a little bit more, personal for me and some of the things that I'm doing, my regular everyday activities that allow me to engage and meet people and, help grow my business. So I'm going to show you on the next slide just a few of those things. I'll touch on those. But these are the 6 ways to get connected. So, we prospect, we do all types of things. I may repeat some of the things that others mentioned, but again, just wanted to kind of dive in and give some actual examples of some things that I'm doing. One of those being, so I have here Get Fit. Now, I made a challenge for myself for the month of May. You're going to walk every day for 30 minutes. So these are just regular things I did for myself. And it's actually, it has benefited my business a little and allowed me to get to know people. So when I go on my walks every morning, I'm actually getting a chance to meet my neighbors, talk to them. I'm walking my dog, they're walking their dog, but it's just so many opportunities for me to meet folks and then for them to actually get to know me and even know that I'm a real estate agent. When you're in the process of doing something within your community, there's always an opportunity to do that. But one of them is just going on my walks. Now, you can do that in your community or outside of your community. Sometimes I do it in the park, and it's just, just being friendly, saying hello. Those things allow me to just kind of meet folks. And then when I see them again, it's like, okay, that's a familiar face. And then I can continue to try to build something on that. But it's just, again, meeting people where I am. Now, as far as the getting fit for me, you might think in your life, what are you doing? If you're at the gym, that's an opportunity. I think we have Realty pros who are in dance classes. Things like that are just opportunities for you to, meet people, share with them not only what you do, learn about what their interests are, and to determine if, there's something you could do to help them find their next home. But the fitness aspect for me has been great, especially with the accountability, because I've committed to this 30 minutes a day. I'm on day, I guess, 23, and I've been very consistent and faithful with doing that. In addition to getting fit, we have Get Social. Now, this kind of piggybacks on a lot of what Maggie said. As far as social media, I am not one who does much on social media, but one thing I will do is I will designate a set, some time throughout my day to, you kind of just scrolling through. But what I've done more is to like, share, and follow people on social media. To kind of piggyback on the fitness aspect, I have a group that after, the pandemic, there was a group that was started, a fitness group that I was really involved in. And, as far as tackling social media, that can be intimidating for someone who doesn't really do social media. But for me, I thought, what can I do? How can I work smarter? Right. So, you can create groups. I think Maggie mentioned that you can start a group. There's so many ways to engage with folks. But what I did was the fitness group that I had, was a part of, I don't know, 3 years ago, or, I kind of followed it. I commented, but I noticed I went back to that page. It was like 600 some folks in that group. There was one comment this year on that page. And I thought, okay, well, I can work a little smarter. I just started to engage folks on that page. Hey guys, what are you doing? How's your fitness journey going? And it's like the whole group woke up. Everyone started commenting. And what's really exciting about that for me is the guy who started the group. I haven't talked to him in I don't know, it's been months, maybe since the end of last year. He then said, hey, who wants to start another challenge? So with me posting a couple of times a week to engage those folks, he now started a challenge that started on Monday. I'm in these little mini groups with people. So it's just another opportunity. Whenever I engage with those folks, I follow them on their page outside of the group. So I don't know, it's really exciting. And again, that's another thing that just happened to be me doing me. And, meeting now, I'm engaged with over 500 people in that one group. So if you're not, you're not the type of person to start a group, maybe you're already following a group. Just engage more in that group or find groups that you think would kind of support some of your interests. Get involved. Volunteering. I've talked to you guys about my, volunteering that I've done with the fire department. That has led to other opportunities that we've also discussed. With the fire department, they have a vendor show twice a year. So I participate in their vendor show. I get a booth. I just talk to people about real estate. I don't focus on just the folks who are coming to attend the vendor show, but I also try to utilize my time in getting to know those vendors. I love talking to folks and getting to know folks who have their own book of business as well, because then we can kind of collaborate and, and do some things together. But if you are interested in volunteering, perhaps it's within your community, your HOA, just different groups. If you want to organize a yard sale in your community, these are ways to get to know your community, kind of give back, but at the same time, you're getting to know folks. But you can do that within your church. If you have kids, their sports teams, or even PTO. These are all opportunities for you to just kind of meet more people and things that you just do on a regular basis. Next is getting personal. In doing all these things, one thing I've learned, and I have it as part of my in my business plan, and my intentions this year were to get a little bit more personal with just not just people in my database, but just people who I know. One of the things I do are just care calls. I know sometimes we think, oh, I don't like getting on the phone and making these calls, but it's so easy when you remove the things that cause that anxiety. Just give people a call and just say, hey, how are you doing? How are the kids? On social media, we have access to things that they're doing. If you have all these folks graduating right now, give them a call, talk to their kids and just congratulate them, these parents on these kids in their achievement. But these are just a number of things that I'm, like I said, these are things that I'm doing as far as the getting personal. Those care calls are big. The Wellness Wednesday, you can say every Wednesday, I'm going to call 5 to 10 people and just check on them. Just check on folks and see how they're doing. A lot of the times, it doesn't have to be just real estate related in the conversations that we have, but that's how you get to know people. Otherwise, just their life experiences. If someone just got married, reach out to them and say, hey, where are you going on your honeymoon, or where did you go? A lot of the times, we see these happy birthday posts. Challenge yourself to say, okay, well, everyone's reaching out to them on their birthday. They don't necessarily stand out. Call them 2 days after their birthday and say, hey, how did you celebrate your birthday? So now you've engaged in a different way. I have get exposure. The reason why I put that on there is just to encourage you guys. We always say, come in the office. There's so many great conversations we have. We learn so much in the office, but I also encourage you to get out of the office. When you're doing your real estate work, you might be at your home office, but I encourage you to go to these different coffee shops, do some work outside of the community so you can be seen. We wear our badges, Anitha has her cute little, I'm your homegirl t-shirt. Carmon wears his hat. Wear those things and go out, right? So that we're not being that secret agent, right? But, as far as, another thing, our trainings we do, we're so quick to jump on a virtual training or virtual call, not these calls, but when we're trying to get CE credits and things. But I challenge you to go and do a physical class. You'll get to know other agents. You'll get to know so many people who work at these places who could very well be your next client. So, I definitely encourage that. And then lastly, these are just a number of things to kind of, hopefully you can relate to some of these things, the things that we do in our everyday, lives. But then I have get started. Like, what do you do to just kind of dive in here? How do we start getting involved in these things? And I was just, I put on here frequently asked questions to get started. Ask questions. Asking simple questions to people, these people you run into at the grocery store, all these different, the gym, just asking simple questions can open that door of communication. So my easy go-to is, hello, I'm Angela. If you walk up to someone and and introduce yourself, what are they going to do? More than likely, they're going to respond, oh, well, I'm whoever their name is. And they're going to greet you as well. So that's very common if you're in the grocery store. We see the same people all the time. We see Helen bagging up groceries and, we don't know Helen. So, you can thank her for what she's doing, and then introduce yourself and just say, I appreciate you. But those are things that can help us to start building relationships with folks. A few other ones, and as far as frequently asked questions, when I'm walking through the neighborhood, how long have you lived here? These are just a few basic questions that spark conversations that help me to, build these relationships. Now, whenever I walk, the same 3 people walking their dogs. I know one dog's name is Louie. Every time I walk by now, these are just things where they know Twix is my dog. And these are people who have probably lived here, who knows, probably as long as I have. And then just didn't really, I was doing things a little differently. So I'm trying to shake things up a bit, get more noticed, and just to kind of, mention a few more questions that you may want to consider. One of them is, and this is not just your community, but outside of community. Did you receive the invite to our next event? You can ask that to anyone. They're like, what event? Oh, well, now we have an opportunity to tell them about the event. And if they say, oh, I already have a house, then you can turn around and say, well, do you know anyone? Always ask for the referral. Do you know someone who could benefit from this? One other question, because I have quite a few here. We won't go through all of them just for the sake of time. But, what have you been up to? Someone went on vacation. How was your vacation? Where's your next vacation? Just those very common, again, this is removing real estate out of it, but it helps you to get to know folks so that you then can, take a step back and learn a little bit about them so you can help them, with whatever their interests are or whomever they may know. So, let's see, I don't know. I probably have a few more minutes. Okay. So apparently I don't. And so, that's it.
Thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. Yes, Angela said, get started. That is a great call to action. Get started. Curtis reminded us at the beginning, focus on the one thing. So get started on the one thing. We have plenty of time left in 2024 to be great. Okay. So, okay. And actually, this was just this week. Yeah, this week. Ms. Pat mentioned about how we had gone by her listing and we were in between listings. So we went by Miss Pat's listing and then we were going to go over to a listing of mine. And we were like, we had just a little bit of time. So we said, okay, let's go by Chick-fil-A, went into Chick-fil-A. And this is the thing, I love our badges because they are beautiful. They're very eye-catching. And so I saw this gentleman and he was trying to read the badge, and so I noticed him, and I said, are you trying to read what's on the badge? And he was like, yes, so that gave me the opportunity to start a conversation with him before we left. And we were not there long at all because we were picking up. Before we left, I had his name, his telephone number, and his email address. Yes, that's my friend Nico. And so I'm expecting Nico to be at our next Home Buyer Expo. Okay. So use the tools. I mean, we've all been given a badge. So put your badge on, and let people notice you. Okay. And Marcus is not here with us. This is another, we were out, Aurelia and I handed out flyers and we met this young lady and I put this in the WhatsApp previously meeting her. It's just about going out, meeting people. Of course, we would be remiss if we did not give the opportunity to our broker to share with us this afternoon. We thank you so much for your time. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open it up to you.
You guys have done such a great job with sharing. Hats off to our leadership team. We are so excited for the wealth of knowledge that we've received today. I'm hopeful that everybody has taken notes, all the different perspectives that you've received. This is simply meeting people where they are. And hopefully you recognize a common theme is that people are everywhere. There is not one place. It's not that people are only, in model homes or at the grocery store. People are literally everywhere and anywhere. So everywhere that you go, the purpose is to be intentional, to have conversations, to promote yourself, to do things that engender genuine communication with people so that you can connect with them and build your pipeline as such. So I will not share a lot because you guys have done an excellent job. I want to thank each and every last one of our leadership team members, and we will continue this conversation. And for those of our Realty pros that are on the line, if you guys have success stories or testimonies of how you've been able to communicate with people and you've been able to foster those leads and build relationships, and now those are clients or people in your pipeline, we want to hear from you as well. So I thank you guys for taking out the time to join us this afternoon. And just like Angela said at the end of her presentation, now let's get started with those things. Just like Curtis reminded us in the very beginning, focus on the one thing. Why would I say that? Because there are so many things that you can do, but the goal is not for you to do everything because then you'd be all over the place, right? But those opportunities that you do have, like simple conversations when you go to a Chick-fil-A, simple conversations in a grocery store, introducing yourself to people, those are crucial to you absolutely being a part of your community and being the face that people recognize when they think about real estate. I love it. Angela's taking on her neighborhood now, and that's something that we've talked about before. Just in doing that, Angela now knows neighbors whose names that she didn't know for all these years. And I assure you, if she continues to foster that relationship, those people are going to work with her if they ever need real estate. And the same thing for each and every last person who has shared today. So I am thankful and I'm excited to hear the things that you guys are doing. Before we close out today, if anybody else has anything that they'd like to add or a comment that they'd like to share, I'm going to turn the floor over to you.
I do, if there's time.
Miss Pat, you have
You are welcome,
something?
Sean. I heard Sean say something.
My apologies.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
All right, great. Hey, really big thanks to all of the leadership team as well as our fabulous brokers for giving the information this Thursday, as is every Thursday. I felt it prudent to chat just because we really cover some important topics, right? Some of them which we've talked about in previous weeks, some that are new, and it really drives home to this notion that, hey, to focus and hone in on the thing that you are supposed to do as professionals, right? As realtors, we have specific things that we need to do in order to succeed, right? But that said, there's a lot of things that encompass part of being a realtor. So I want to first ask, what is the difference when it comes to time between, say, a janitor or a CEO? If anyone can just, say out answers.
Not sure where you're going.
Okay. Well,
One of the things I'll say is that time is the same for everybody. It's just a matter of the quality of the activity that's being done during that time. You can have a CEO that works for 14 hours and a janitor that works 14 hours, but the quality of work that the CEO does may be $500,000 worth a year,
all right.
whereas a janitor is maybe 40,000.
All right. So look, you're absolutely correct. The point I was trying to drive at is that no matter who you are, your time is the same. You have the same 24 hours in each and every single day. How you choose to spend it is that there's a finite amount in which you are able to utilize it. So think it from the perspective of a prospective client or an existing client. If you are trying to reach your realtor, if you have a need for your realtor and they don't make themselves available to you, and for any number of reasons, there's a lot of competing priorities. The perception from them is that you're not as important because you're not the priority. So as realtors, we need to focus and say, hey, what are the core things we need to be really honing in on, right? That one thing that we need to be doing. So it was mentioned earlier, when it comes to lead generation, maximizing your time. If you're going out to a Chick-fil-A, talk to people. You're going to eat anyways. Spend that time. Do the things that really you are uniquely qualified for. I am uploading to our chat something called the Eisenhower Matrix. I don't know if people are familiar with it, but it really is a crucial leadership chart. I definitely encourage everyone to have a copy of it, but it really talks about what you should do and what you should either delegate to others or put off for another time or take out of your life entirely. And so if you see the top left quadrant, if it's important and urgent, that's what you need to be focused on. All the other quadrants, you're welcome to peruse it at, on your time, but it really comes down to, what do you need to be doing as an individual? Earlier was mentioned quite heavily, and also in preceding weeks a lot, about social media. If you're not a specialist in social media, if you don't have the time to be, or if your time is better spent talking and engaging with your prospective clients over the phone or in person, why are you spending time on social media? Would it be better delegated to others? Would it be better to hold off to a specific scheduler that you have for that? Or is it better to not do it at all? These are all things that you have to consider. And I think one of the great things about a brokerage is, the porters are really good at sharing their knowledge, their wealth of knowledge, and among our our realty pros, our ability to share and really understand, hey, what works and what doesn't. But I definitely encourage everyone to consider, hey, what is the thing that we really need to do as realtors? What are the other things that we can either ignore or put off to another person or put off entirely? That's all I want to say.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sean. If anything, what that does is it reinforces the one thing, right? And it reinforces us maximizing every opportunity. So I love how he honed in on that, because there are some things that for sure Maggie does well in terms of the social media aspect. There's some things that Darlene does well in terms of the sip and see and all of those things. So when it comes to things that are not necessarily within your wheelhouse, you want to connect with people and delegate those things to them. And you focus on the one thing that's going to maximize your prospecting, because your number one endeavor as a real estate professional, is to generate leads. So everything that you do on a daily basis should be focused around you connecting with people, engaging them, building your book of business, having your pipeline set for fall, winter, and then spring of 2024. Well, 2025 now. We're already going into summer 2024. But you guys understand the point there. Prospecting is the number one endeavor of a real estate professional. Excellent job, guys. We'll go ahead and close out there, and we'll pick up the conversation next week. Thank you guys for joining. Anita, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Porter. We're going to go ahead and we're going to stop. And